All right, folks, what is going on? This is episode 398 of the First and Frame Rate Show. I am VF Baller. Over here, we talk about Georgia Southern and Atlanta Falcons football. And today, I'm going to try to get ahead of the schedule because right after this show, goes live, the Sun Belt Football Media Day will be starting. And it's going to be really exciting because we have two of our top guys. Well, I ain't gonna say the top because I think all of our guys are the top guys on the team. I mean, I think we have a bunch of athletes and really good stars, but that's another story for another day. You got two top guys going to Media Day to represent Georgia Southern. It's going to be a really cool moment. I'm going to try to keep my eye on my ears on what's going on here. But with that being said, I want to talk about who's going to be there and what does this mean for the Georgia Southern Eagles. If this is your first time here, welcome to the First and Frame Rate Show. I am BF Baller. Over here we talk about Georgia Southern Atlanta Falcons football. We're switching back over to Georgia Southern because the media days, they're starting this week. They're going to be going on today throughout the today and tomorrow, which will be the 26th and 27th. And it's going to be a lot of talk about the conference. They're going to talk about the state of the conference. Two athletes from each school is going to show up along with their head coach. And I'm pretty sure they're going to have questions asked of them and how do they feel about, starting a new season, all that good stuff. It's always a good time when this stuff happens. So it's just going to be awesome to check all of this out and really hear from Kyle Vantrease. I mean, we know much about Dillon Springer. He's played for us for a while now. We know what to expect when he's on the field. But Kyle Vantrease is going to be the one that's kind of be more in the know of what he's going to say and what he's about, because we saw him in the what's the thing called, the spring game, and he looked pretty sharp. But just to see where his head at, we've heard him speak a few times, a couple of interviews, but this is where the ball really gets rolling because people are going to really want to know what he has to say and how he goes about, his business. So basically, for the first time this is the first time in the 22 years of the Sun Belt, this is going to be a 2-day affair. It used to be like 1 day, I think. So that's going to be really cool to have it expanded. And there's one reason why it's going to be expanded because it is a 14-team league now, with the additions of the other teams, James Madison, Marshall, Old Dominion, and you also had Southern Miss. When you have those guys coming in, we're going to have to expand this for, a little bit, longer. So 3 new coaches going to be coming in: Coach Clay Helton, Michael Desmero, I think I said that, of Louisiana, and John Summerall of Troy. You got a lot of stuff going on with this team. Now also the head coaches of James Madison and Marshall and Old Dominion and Southern Miss, with their names are Kurt Signetti, Charles Huff, Ricky Rame, and Will Hall, Southern Miss, Old Dominion, Marshall, and James Madison coaches respectively. So this is going to be really cool, and I'm gonna let you guys know what I think about my team and what we're going to be doing as far as, the team being represented by these two guys. What does this mean for, Georgia Southern? Well, they're going to start off on, today with the state of the conference. Then you're going to have some Q&A or whatever the case may be, with App State going first, Old Dominion after that. Then we come in at 11:30. I think this is Eastern time, or no, it's going to be in Louisiana. So I take it's going to be Central time. So it's going to be somewhere around there. But the thing about that is it's going to be televised. So that's pretty cool. So it should be on ESPN Plus if you want to check that out. So at 11:30, I guess is their time. Coach Clay Helton, Kyle Vantrease, and Dillon Springer is going to be talking. And after that, you're going to have James Madison, Coastal Carolina, and Marshall, and Georgia State ends off the day with those guys doing their Q&A as well. Now Wednesday they're going to be picking up from there, and they're going to talk with Troy's going to be talking. Then you have Texas State, Arkansas State, Louisiana, Southern Miss, ULM, South Alabama is going to wrap it all up at 3 p.m. on Wednesday the 27th. So what does this mean for Kyle Vantrease, Dillon Springer? What does this mean for our team? Well, first and foremost, I feel like we're going to be represented very well. I mean, you got two guys that are class acts, guys that are, been around for a while, both for 6-year seniors, so they've been around and, they played a lot of college football. So they're going to know how to handle themselves respectively. You're not going to have any, I'm pretty sure you're not going to have any issues with any of the players. But with that being said, you still want to be in a situation where you're represented very well for your school. Like, just say, for instance, we have the guy that comes in from Buffalo to play quarterback for Georgia Southern. With all of these changes going on, it's almost a no-brainer for him to be going down to media days. And when you got a guy who almost was not going to come back to the school and play, he decided to come back for his last time and play for the team, a guy in Dillon Springer. He's going to be commanding that defense with the linebacker position. I mean, between him and Todd Bradley Glenn, those two guys are going to be, really setting the tone for the defense. Now, we also have other talent that's out there, like a Justin Ellis or a Derek Canteen. But when you look at a guy like, Dillon Springer, I've seen what he can do on the field in the blue and white. He's going to be ready to play, and he's going to lead this team accordingly, especially the defensive side of the ball. Now, I said this earlier, and I feel like there's going to be more questions or more important questions coming to Kyle Vantrease, because, that's how it is when you're the quarterback of a team. This team is in transition mode. You also have Coach Clay Helton changing things around, basically changing the culture of the team. And what does that, entails for a Kyle Vantrease? Is he going to be able to, command this offense? Is he going to be able to make things happen for the offense to be successful? What is he going to have to do with the transition coming from a team that mostly ran the option to more of a pro style spread air raid, type of passing, to where you're more aggressive? How does he transition that? How does he help transition that? Because for him, throwing the ball is pretty much his thing. I think he should be okay as far as, doing that. But the other players around him, how do he galvanize that team to, how do you galvanize a team to transition quickly into a more aggressive air passing type team? How does that happen? Can he do it? Really, I think there's no worries about that. I think, Kyle Vantrease is going to be fine as far as throwing the football. I also believe that Dillon Springer is going to be okay commanding the defense. This is one thing these are two guys I know I really much don't have any question marks about. I just don't. I think these guys are, it's one thing about the transition. I'm glad that guys like this wanted to come to Georgia Southern or stay at Georgia Southern to help this team transition from one style of offense to the next and one style of defense to the next, because we ran a totally different type of offense compared to what we see in the, that we saw in the spring game. I mean, it was totally different. I mean, there were times when we were going to run the option. We're probably going to run the ball maybe 30, 40, 50 times. And for the most part, it was somewhat successful. But now it's getting to a point where we're going to have to get ourselves in line to actually, be more of a pro style, more aggressive passing type of team. And it kind of shows with some of the receivers that we end up picking up. We end up picking up some good guys, some guys that, look like they're going to be some studs, and I can't wait to see how that plays out when it comes to this football team. And when it's starting to, things start to happen on the field. This is the type of stuff where you pretty much, get excited about. Every year when football season starts, even though when there's not this big of a transition, you always find a way to get excited, get hyped. You want to see if your team is able to win some football games. And in some cases, it kind of starts here because you start to put a real face to the team. And these two guys here, obviously with Coach Clay Helton, these guys are basically like the face of the team right now. Kyle Vantrease, Dillon Springer's 2 6-year seniors who've seen a lot of college football, and it just really helps to get things, together when it comes to actually leading a team. Now, I would say this, and I know people in the comment section probably already said this. I thought at one point Dillon Springer played linebacker. They got Dillon Springer at defensive lineman. Maybe he's always been there, but I've seen him play in different positions. Maybe I'm wrong. I stand corrected, but I always looked at Dillon Springer as a linebacker, but they got him as defensive lineman on the sunbelt.org website, sunbeltsports.org. I need to look that up because I'm not really sure. I thought that, well, nevertheless, my thing about this is at the end of the day, this is a really solid situation. You can't get any better than what we have. You know what I mean? I think we have a really good situation here to where we are going to probably shock a good bit of people. I think we'll be able to shock a lot of people. And it's all going to start with these two guys. And I can't wait to really see what they say when it comes to the questioning that they've been asking. So I'm really excited to see what they say. I'm going to do a recap on what these guys are going to, say and do, how they present themselves, and what kind of questions and answers that's actually going to be presented to us as the fans. And hopefully we get some pretty good stuff, because what I want to do is I want to report back, good, bad, or indifferent, but I want to report back on what these guys are saying, because it is, like I said, it's going to give you some type of insight on what this team is about. And at the end of the day, that's what it is. You want to know what this team is about. And when you get that information, you start to, look up, the rest of the team. Especially the guys who are not like me, that's actually out here, talking about the team on the daily, pretty much. You kind of get that whole situation with, with the team. It's always a situation where when you want to start following the team, when you haven't been watching the team throughout the off season, this is one of the first times you actually get to see that transition from one season to the next, where these guys are actually putting a face to the voice, the face to the names, the face to the team. And I think these guys are going to represent very well. So I will say this again before I close. First and foremost, it will be on ESPN Plus, later on today. If you want to check Georgia Southern out, I'm actually going to be trying to listen to what they have to say, give you my thoughts and opinions on it on the next episode, whatever the case may be. Also, I'm going to put it down in the comment section on the YouTube things, but I will say it right now. Dillon Springer is a defensive lineman. I should have known that. I don't know why I thought he played linebacker. I don't know. Maybe it just slipped my mind today. I'm not really sure. But nevertheless, he's going to be a force down there commanding that defensive line, probably the defense as well. 6-year senior. He's going to have something to say about commanding what this defense can do. Somewhat of a coach on the field, just like Kyle Vantrease. He just seems like, I watched Kyle Vantrease in the spring game. He just took control of the team immediately just by walking on the field. But it's going to be interesting to see what they do. I don't want to hold you guys up. If you like this commentary, hit the like button, share this podcast, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Man, we're already at episode 398, man. 2 away from 400. And like episode 400, it will be on Thursday. So that's going to be pretty cool. We're going to have to do something different to see how that goes. And we'll just try to pretty much, do something special. I'm not really sure. All right, y'all. I'm on Anchor, Stitcher, Spotify, Apple, and Google Podcasts. Also on YouTube and Rumble. So you guys could check me out on all those places. Give me a 5-star rating and give me some feedback if I'm not doing everything up to par. All right, y'all. Y'all guys take it easy. Y'all be blessed. Enjoy your Tuesday. And hopefully you guys enjoyed the Sunbelt Media Days. All right, y'all. Y'all take it easy. Y'all be blessed. Peace.